It's the weekend. You've had a little bit too much to eat on the party that you attended, and you want to get back in shape. So you decide to go out for a run. You've gone out and you've done a 2, 3, 5 kilometer run, and then you think that you've done your job for the weekend, right? The answer is no, because you've skipped two very important things. That is the warm-up and the cooldown. We're going to talk about how important that is with Swapneel Hazare, strength and conditioning coach, founder of Shield Fitness. Thank you so much, Swapneel, for taking the time. I know that you interact with a lot of people, you train a lot of people. Let's start with the warm-up first. Why is this such an important element of the entire fitness regime?
See, basically, we need to understand what exactly is a warm-up. For warm-up, for me, is in short, I'll give you an answer, is, when the Formula Car one drives, before they actually do the race, they do a prep round of the whole circuit. It's basically to prime that car to take the load of the race. Now, when we talk about warm-up, I think the warm-up for me is priming our body, which is like a big motor unit. It is like a big motor unit. So many different parts working together in tandem. So warm-up is basically to take your heart rate up, to take your body temperature up. So it primes you for your workout. It takes your body, your muscles, your nervous system in tune with your workouts. So if you skip the workouts, it's straight away jumping from a cliff. It's just heading for a big accident.
And let's take the analogy of the Formula One car a little further. There could be issues in terms of injuries that could come up. What are the muscle groups, according to you, that are most susceptible to getting injured if you jump into a very strenuous routine without warming up?
See, the muscle groups are very different. The injuries are very different. Now, if you're talking about somebody who's into running, most of the injuries will happen mostly in your ankles, your calf, your hamstrings, which are your major muscles, which are lower body muscles, which are require more for running. Less injuries in the upper body while running or doing a marathon run or sprinting or anything. But usually more injuries happen when the muscle is lengthened, not when it's contracted. Like if you're sprinting, the injury happens not when you're curling your leg up. It's when you're stretching the leg out to run, to take that big stride out. Injuries happen in the eccentric phase of the muscle, not on the concentric phase of the muscle. If you talk about lifting weights, or if you're going into exercise, into strength and conditioning, into HIIT or into CrossFit, injuries happen when you try and lift a load which your body is not ready for it at that particular time. So if you straight away jump into lifting big heavy weights or jumping too high or running too fast, the chances of injury are high.
Let's take our viewers through a few routines that they can do. Maybe a simple warm-up. And how much time would you say is good, Swapneel, to spend warming up?
See, the warm-up is the timing of the warm-up is also very important. You can't warm up very early before your activity. If you're exercising, say, in about 30 minutes, the ideal time is about 20 to 30 minutes prior to your workout. Or if you're playing a sport, 15 to 20 minutes prior to your workout. So the time between the warm-up and the exercise shouldn't be too long. Because if you're taking too long a period between that, your body cools down again. The whole purpose of the warm-up is defeated. Warm-up is basically to take your body temperature up, heart rate up, and if you maintain it at somewhere between, say, about 40-50% of your resting heart rate, which is, say, for a general population, it's usually about 70, 72, 75. You take it to about 100, 110. And from there, you start working out. The effect of the exercise is much more better. Your body is ready for your exercise. Your body is ready to take the load. You're ready to sprint. You're ready to jog or do any kind of physical activity.
So you're basically starting the engine and you're keeping it idling for some time. So
yes. So basically, you don't jump into gear 5. You go into gear 1, gradually warm up, gear 2, and then you jump into your speed race.
So it's a little bit of very light aerobics and also stretching. So could you give us a sense of what all should be included in your warm-up?
Ideally, I prefer to train my athletes in a specific way where I feel they should start with a mobility. Mobility is of the joints. It's not of the muscle. The mobility is of the joints. You're like your shoulder joint, your hip joint, your knee joint, your ankle joint. That's where you work on the mobility. Then you come to the flexibility part where before a workout, you should ideally perform dynamic warm-up exercises where you can say dynamic exercises like leg swings, arm circles, golf swings, lunges, squats. Basically, those are more dynamic exercises or warm-up stretches that can help you get into a routine better. The idea of doing a dynamic exercise is because when you do static exercises, which are supposed to be at the end of the workout, your muscles are stretched. Your muscles are like a rubber band. Now, if you pull a rubber band too hard and you hold it for too long, it loses its elasticity. So when you are starting a workout, you are ready to play a game or you're ready to get into a sport or into a running. The idea is to do more dynamic stuff so your muscles don't lose that elasticity. They have the nice little bit of, you can say that they store the energy into them. If you pull them too apart, you lose that explosive energy from it. So the whole idea is to do dynamic stretches before a workout.
Okay, so you've explained the workout. Now, let's assume that we've done this lovely warm-up and we've done the workout, and now this is something that I think even growing up and playing football and all of that, I see a lot of people ignore this completely. They go straight for their showers, they ignore the cool down. Is that a really bad thing?
Honestly, yes, it is. Like, the cool down is as important as the warm-up is as important as the warm-up. A lot of people think warm-up is important, the game is important. They think cool down, though, it's okay if you don't do it. But the idea of doing the cool down is to get your body temperature down, to let your muscles relax, to let them come to the original length of the muscle which it was before you started working out. Like if you're lifting a weight, when you lift a weight, say you're doing a bicep curl, you're lifting the weight up. What you're trying to do is you're trying to break the muscles and contract the muscle. When you contract the muscle, the length of the muscle shortens. And that's where you get that big, nice pump on your muscle. Now, when you contract the muscle, at the end of the workout, if you don't cool down, you don't stretch the muscle out again, the muscle loses its memory of being elongated. You need to make sure the muscle realigns itself. It gets its original length, what it was before the actual activity began. That's why cool down is very important. The other part is of cool down is when you work out, there's a lot of lactic acid buildup into your body. And that's why you get a little bit of soreness the next day if you don't stretch out enough. If you don't stretch out properly, if you don't cool down enough, that's where you get the soreness the next day. That is called DOMS. That is delayed onset muscle syndrome, which happens usually after 24 hours to 48 hours of your workout. If you don't stretch, the lactic acid is not washed up from your blood. It's not washed up from your muscle. It's still there. And that's where you get more sore and sore. And over a period of time, you start getting more stiffer and you start getting injured.